Welcome back to a drama so doomed. Even Senora is craved. In today's video, I want to go over the development in the Genshin Impact situation because let's be honest, man. It's really going down over there in the Genshin corner of the streets, all right? There's a lot that is ongoing right now, and I can barely keep up covering everything. But I want to go over the Genshin Master Report situation is getting worse, and also that nothing will change in Genshin Impact. Because let's face it, we can keep talking about the development of what's going down in terms of clashing, etc. But I feel like we need to have a more realistic conversation and discussion about what to expect in what Hoyoverse is about to do towards the player base. So without further ado, let's hear what kind of development happened, because we all know the Genshin fans are a little unhinged. Let's get it. If you enjoy this type of content, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on anything gacha news related, especially. And also hype up the video. Apparently, you can hype up videos. That's a new mechanic that YouTube has introduced where you can hype videos up. It would mean the world to me, and you can even consider joining the YouTube channel. That would mean the world to me. So, yeah, I would appreciate the support. I appreciate you a lot. Let's get back into the video. So let's get it on.
Genshin YouTube channel is going to get mass reported.
Wait, they're mass reporting Genshin Impact's YouTube channel?
Report the fuck out of his channel! Do it right now!
Oh man, oh man, oh man.
The protests over the little rewards and other issues have become worse, to the point where hashtag Do Better Hoyoverse has become a trending topic.
This is trending worldwide. Do Better Hoyoverse is trending worldwide. They're gonna give out a 10 poll. They're gonna give out a 10 poll, and it's gonna make a lot of people go,
Thank you, master!
bet money.
They now want to mass report Discord, the mods, and the stuff. The reason is because many people got banned for mentioning the bad rewards. They also want to mass report the YouTube channel. It's because their one-star reviews were removed from the Play Store.
Who could have seen like a classic Genshin Impact? This is not their first rodeo. We've seen this before. That's the reason why I'm not that surprised. This happened before. It will probably keep happening again. They have their strategy when this happens. And their strategy is always, these fans, what are they going to do? They're not going to quit. What are they? They're just going to keep going to our apps and mass report and stuff. Guess what we're going to do? We're just going to delete them babies. We're going to bot that everything is fine. Problem solved. That internet theory is more and more present as time goes on, man. I might be an AI right now. You would know.
And Google Maps. They are not accepting this behavior and feel all opinions.
I love how someone we need to be louder. Attack! Hey, W Genshin community. W Genshin community. Look, you can say whatever you want about them boys, but one thing is for sure, the level of solidarity. I feel like this is what I've always hoped for. A lot of people like to give shit to the Genshin community, but the reality is the degree of solidarity they have is really impressive. That if only it could just be directed towards the right thing, which I feel like is starting to happen. And I'm not gonna lie, when this started to happen, Genshin Impact's community, let's just say, respect stonks for me personally really went up. I'm like, okay, Genshin fans, I see you. Respect.
This behavior and feel all opinions is being purposely silent.
Genshin official, you are not allowed to leave any negative comments about our game. Whoa, yeah, of course. Why would they allow you to do that? Look, any self-respecting business is gonna go about it this way, because a negative comment is literally what could make someone not get your product. So think about it. I have the ability to do that. Of course I'm gonna do that. Duh. So obviously the Genshin boys are really up and at him. Now it's time to have a very, very hard conversation. Is this gonna amount to anything? I think it's a very important question to ask. I'm gonna go over it with our man Arikado Zodan. And yeah, let's hear what he has to say, because apparently he's doing the hell out of the movement. Nothing will change. It's like we've seen this before, probably. You shut the hell up, enjoy your 2D Genshin baddies, and sit your ass down. You probably can't even quit as you're doing this, because you're going to miss out on the free-to-play primo gems they're giving you out to make up to the to make up for the lack of primo gems they're going to give you the next patch. The very thing you're complaining about. So anyway, let's see what he has to say, man. I'm very curious.
I've just been quietly observing the situation going on with Genshin Impact for a few days now, but I will at least humor those of you that wish to hear my thoughts about what's going on.
I'm not gonna lie, this new character over here, like the female, I might come back and pull. I might just come back and pull. And also seeing Nahida again and the Wanderer. Oh, and this man, I'll be honest, I'm getting flashbacks.
Aside from the usual frustrations that sprung up surrounding the game, there's a lot of recent
Oh,
complaints
by the way, when is Alice going to be released? Is
surrounding
she
the
out yet?
continued deterioration in pull economy and free-to-play accessibility, as well as what looks like a last-minute change in preventing a new character from being moved to the standard banner pool.
There's a lot of speculation there. He's speaking like as if it was facts. I'm not sure if that was the case in the leaks. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it was. I mean, leaks are always to be taken with a grain of salt. Whether or not it was Hoyoverse or the leaker is up to anybody's interpretation. I feel like I don't think we can confirm 100% that that is the case. So this is the character that's getting people going crazy. I'm not gonna lie, the drip is amazing. Bro got drip.
I'm not going to sugarcoat anything today and make 3 things clear that you will walk away knowing. 1. The online protests against Genshin Impact and Hoyoverse will change absolutely nothing.
Well, you can get a free temple. Well, hold on. They're gonna give out a temple. I bet money.
This doesn't even have anything to do with the toxic positivity surrounding the Genshin Impact community or
course
even
not.
the thinly veiled tribalism that's practiced on either side. Nothing will change because Genshin is the most casual, the most mainstream game in the gacha genre, and its audience reflects that.
He is totally right. He is 100% right. Most players don't even know this shit is happening. You got to realize just because you see people online doesn't mean everybody that plays the game is online. A lot of players just play and have fun and dip out, and a lot of them can only play Genshin Impact due to their device limitations. They don't even have time to be, let's just say, internet brain rotted chronically online, digesting this whole beef that's happening right now. If you guys can make anything out of this beef, well, great. I get more free shit. But other than that, I'm just over here having fun, man. Nah, stuck. I just finished my homework. I just want to do something, and the only thing I can play is Genshin Impact, so I just play that. Great, I'm good. I don't have to get every single character. I don't care about this character or not. I don't care. That's it. Like I'm just having fun. Like a lot of players tackle games like this, especially in the Genshin fans. So yeah, he's totally right. He's totally freaking right.
They play the game with zero awareness of the controversies surrounding Genshin on a daily basis, either because their social media algorithms don't feed them that kind of engagement, or they make the conscious decision to not contribute to said engagement when it's presented to them.
Yeah.
That is a
They're just gonna watch like edits, right? They're gonna watch trailers, stuff like that. Yeah, the algorithm can still suggest you content about your favorite video game that's not necessarily about the conversations surrounding the video game. So what happens is a lot of the time the algorithm keeps feeding you the very thing you like, but it's just not the thing that the fans would want the other fans to see because they need more people to their cause. Yeah, there's, believe it or not, there's more to the video game algorithms than just the topics and the conversations surrounding them. Believe it or not.
assuming they even use social media for gaming news and discussion, or if they even have a social media account in the first place.
What he's trying to say is a lot of the Genshin fans are a bunch of children, which, let's face it, this game is kind of tailored made for those people. Sorry, for those people, for those kids. And the reality is a lot of them don't have access to social media. Like you just want them to shut up while playing a video game. And of course, they don't have access to your bank account or anything. So therefore, they can't do that. They can't spend. And they just shut up. They're quiet in their corner. They're having fun. Just like our parents did with us with our Game Boys, with our PSX, etc., etc. So this is basically the new version of that. But it's cheaper and free.
Longtime detractors of Genshin Impact will frequently try to use review-bombed store pages and other evidence they can find to present this one-sided narrative that the entire community is calling for the heads of Hoyoverse. And to those presenting such evidence, I'm not interested in whether you're right or wrong. I'm interested in how many times this has actually worked. And in that regard, we have almost 6 years of the game's history to look back on and determine what side the coin has landed.
Okay, so we had the first anniversary rewards. I think it was 3 fouls. 3 years, 3 pulls. That's when I pulled up. Like I had said, enough is enough. I'm going to start a YouTube channel and I'm going to start talking about this shit. I'm done. I quit Genshin Impact because of this shit. I'm tired of this lack of change. And that's why you have me right now. And then we have the Natlan boycott. I covered that a little bit. The reality is when it comes to the Natlan boycott, it's more of a cultural thing. I feel like for the gamer, I didn't necessarily care, to be honest with you. It was kind of stupid. It's virtue signaling. The last bit of leftist embers still smoldering in the gotcha space, and a lot of them, like people just moved away from anybody that was virtue signaling from this stuff. So really, I feel like the most important ones while looking at this situation specifically is going to be the first anniversary awards, which was from 3 fouls to 10 pulls. And again, the 3 years, 3 pulls. Guess what? Exactly, another 10 pulls. That's why I'm saying they're probably just going to give out another 10 pull and let people shut up, because this is still going on. And at some point, they kind of have to take a stand, because they can't just keep letting them going crazy. They have to at least calm a majority of them. They're not going to calm everybody, because the tempo is not nearly enough, but they need to do at least something to, let's just say, reduce the impact they're having right now. Because let's face it, everywhere I turn, people are talking about this.
Talk is cheap. A single
Ooh, he said it, not me.
that gets millions of views and thousands of likes has no meaningful monetary cost behind it from the people interacting with it.
Yes, are you quitting or not? If you're not quitting, it doesn't matter. And let's face it, a lot of y'all are lying.
Nor is there any proof that whoever promotes these posts are an actual fan of Genshin Impact beyond their interaction history on said social media.
Ooh, he makes a good point here. Like, we have a bunch of fake ass ninjas that pretend to be Genshin fans, but the reality is they're just here for the clout. They're just here to get that sweet validation nectar online. I got this big post. I feel better about myself today. Yeah, because I'm an insecure, hollow, empty person, right? I don't have a personality of my own. I need people to tell me that I'm awesome. Yeah, so that. Be careful, because as much as I understand this sentiment, I feel like it's easy to fall prey to it. You want to be careful and at least be self-aware of this, because you are literally being taken advantage of.
If the game continues to make massive amounts of money, then
Okay, if you're free to play, low spender, etc., then your opinion is objectively less valued within the live service market. Not necessarily. It depends on how big the sentiment is within these metrics. Because if you have a lot of free to plays, if free to plays are majorly upset, that is big, because do not forget, these companies require, there's also a huge sentiment people express to me when I say I don't want events to like make us play them, because they're like these mini games, like just let me do my dailies and leave. Well, they're saying that the counter argument to that is the reason why they won't do that is because they want you to log in, so that way they can show to sponsors or advertisers or whatever that they have people playing their game for long periods of time. That way they might be able to plug something in there. Those are valuable numbers for the company that they can monetize, all right? And free-to-plays majorly probably spend the most amount of time within the game, because they have to do the exploration, all that stuff. A lot of the, let's just say, more casual low spender like myself, we're not out there sweating, try-harding to get every single chest, every single piece of asteroids within the game to make up for being completely 100% free to play. And of course, I'm talking about like the very passionate free to play. Not every free to play is out there doing that, but the reality is, these may not matter like as a let's just say individual. These may not matter from an individual level, but if you are to AoE them, these are very, very important parts of the player base. Because if they weren't, why the hell do these gacha companies give out free pools and stuff? Like, obviously, it's to please these parts of the community. So yeah, I think it is less valued, sure, when it comes to like the whales, but I wouldn't like undermine its importance. Also, something very important: if they were to mass quit, that hurts their agendas a lot, and that's what you want to prevent. Now, this is the reality of things. A lot of them are just, just say complaining out loud, but they're all talk and no action. Like, they talk, they're upset, but the reality is they're still playing. And that's where let's just say, the weakness and the cracks in this entire movement start to show, which is sad, really.
and you don't have to be on social media to spend money in Genshin Impact. To put it simply, if Hoyoverse had any concerns surrounding this latest outcry, you would have seen an official statement within 48 hours. And last I checked, we've already gone at least 5 days. And
Well, no, they take their time. If I remember, like in their 3 years, 3 pulls, it took a longer time. If it didn't happen already, it's not going to happen. Engagement will diminish rapidly, and the movement will die. That is a tactic, but it seems to still be going strong, because they just moved to YouTube as well, as we've seen now. So I mean, snap. When was that video out? This was a day ago, so like 2 days ago, probably. No. I think they're still going. They're still going. They need to get something, which is probably going to be the tempo. They need to feel like they at least got something out of their trouble. And don't forget, we're talking about chronically online, validation-seeking individuals. They have nothing better to do.
Already gone at least 5 days. And this is all without uttering a single word about the second-class priority.
Bro, Genshin Impact still doesn't even have like a dodge animation like Wuwa or something. It's making me go crazy. Look at them, like they just dash. Oh my god, they didn't even do that yet. Jesus.
About the second-class prioritization of EN gacha audiences. 2. People like playing Genshin Impact and your
Wait, what? Overseas Genshin fans frustrated by the scarcity of free Primogems launch a campaign to leave low ratings on Hoyoverse's official Google map. Wait, it's just the global? It seems Asia won't support us. Just reading their comments leaves a lot to think about. What the fuck? No. What? Asia, China ain't with us? But wait. If I remember, Tectone's video is being shared in Bilibili and in CN. I think maybe it's not as too big as it is in global, but I think there's something there. I don't think we're kind of undermining how much that has developed since, because this is on May 9th. I'm not sure. I guess we'll also have to wait for the development.
2. People like playing Genshin Impact and your alternative does not interest them. I've already discussed this in a previous video when talking about how the generosity of a gacha game comes second to someone's actual enjoyment of the game itself. This applies to every single gacha game when put next to one another.
I feel like both of them apply because generosity allows you to get more stuff, which can allow you to enjoy the game more. Therefore, generosity does matter towards enjoyment.
But for the sake of simplicity, I will be referencing Wuthering Waves for this, as it's the first one that comes to the minds of many of you. And if you play both, then obviously this doesn't apply to you. Detractors have always made excuses for why Genshin Impact players continue to play it for any reason other than someone's personal enjoyment of Genshin Impact. And because of that, this is why the constant push for players to make the switch to Wuthering Waves, or whatever else game they're referring to, has fallen on deaf ears every single time.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. I remember I was one of those. I used to say, like, why are you still playing Genshin? You should play Wuwa. You're encouraging good dev practices. Like, you can look at it from that angle. It's the same shit, really. Like, what are you waiting for? The reality is like, they were looking at me like, I just like Genshin, man. I don't know what to tell you. I just like it. Like, I'm cool. Like, I'm chilling. I'm having a good time. And speak for yourself. Like, I'm having a good time over here. And that really, I'll be honest, like, it was a great life lesson, really. Like, it changed my outlook on people's behavior, on life and society, really. It's like sometimes you can suggest, do not force, do not just push people into one thing because you happen to think that's the way to do it. Let people come to their own conclusion. Let people do their thing, have their fun. And people are different. People have different tastes on what we can enjoy. Yeah, and to be honest with you, like as soon as I started to, let's just say, remove some of the built-up anger and well, I wouldn't say anger, it's disappointment I had towards Genshin Impact, I started to become somewhat fond of Genshin Impact, as in the times I spent with the game, the people I met. It put me in this journey. Like I'm covering gacha games. I never thought I would. I never thought like one day I would even be spending on 2D anime baddies. Like all this, I'm interacting with all this amazing community. I have like an incredible amount of respect. Sorry, I don't even know. I kind of was trying. Lost my train of thought there. I've encountered a lot of individuals that I cherish, are very dear to me, and most of them were actually through Genshin Impact. Believe it or not, Genshin Impact literally enabled me to encounter someone who later on made the entire complete made such a difference in my life, because I would have been. Well, let's just say out in the streets for a longer period of time if it wasn't for someone I met through Genshin Impact supporting me through those very difficult times. So I hold Genshin to a certain high esteem for when it comes to how it impacted my life positively. I do. The fact is, as a game, sure, it has definitely disappointed me because I loved it so much. I wanted it to, let's just say, keep cooking, keep doing its thing. But the reality is, I had to come to the conclusion that Genshin has lost its soul and it's now just this corpa slop. And I get to choose whether I want to eat it or not. I decided not to. And guess what? I moved to Wuwa, and Wuwa is now starting to do somewhat similar bullcrap in terms of the freebies and stuff. And so yeah, here we are again. So it is what it is. Unfortunately, that's why I'm pro consumer. I want to be fair towards corpus. Obviously, I want to have like a fair amount of let's just say interaction, right? But the reality is, if Corpa can take an inch, they'll try to take an arm, right? And we just have to make sure they don't get too greedy. Like, it's fun to push business to, up the numbers. We understand, but at least do it in a manner that is, let's just say, more tolerable than what they're trying to do right now. And I feel like personally, that's where the problem is with Genshin Impact. Is lowering costs made it feel like it's just a shell of what it once was, and it couldn't recapture the magic that made us fall in love with it. And it's such a shame. It is such a shame, man. But yeah, that's why, like, for me, Genshin Impact is something that's I cherish, but the reality is I can't play it as a video game, because when I see it, I don't break away from reality. Instead, all I see is devs aren't doing enough, and that's not why I play video games. I play video games because I want to forget about stuff. So.
Games are still video games, and video games are an entertainment media that everyone will find their own tastes for that will differ from
Absolutely.
one another.
There it is. He's saying it too.
If they're not interested in any alternatives provided, then that is the fault of the alternative not appealing to them for whatever reason. That does not mean that the alternative is inherently bad, but it's just not in their tastes, and that is the end
Exactly.
of it.
It's, for example, how mechanically good you are. A lot of the new generation of gamers, they don't necessarily care about being sweaty and good at video games. All they care about is playing the cool thing, the most popular thing, so that way they can, let's just say, belong to with the popular kids. You do what's popular. Let's face it, that's what a lot of us cared about when we were kids. And so when you take that when you factor that in, the reality is people are just gonna do what they like. And also, mechanically, people aren't interested, and wuwa encourages good mechanical gameplay. And if the players are not interested in that, well, guess what? Yeah, it's a lot of people are going to prefer Genshin Impact because it's more in tune to their skill level and enjoyment, more so than WoW, which is fair. And that's why I said before, and I'll say it again, I feel like the market is better rewarded for having both games in the market rather than just one. All right, because the reality is we base our how we think gamers should react to a video game based on how we operate, based on how our preferences are. But not everybody's the same, kind of like what he's saying right here. And that's very important to keep in mind. And it is up to us, just like we have to reciprocate the respect that we give them and that they give us. They give us at least some respect in the sense of, hey, you enjoy woo, you do woo, man. But like, we're over here acting like parents, going, "What do you mean you don't like woo? Are you crazy? It's obviously better. Look at everything." It's like, shut up, Unc. It's like, let the kids have fun.
It's not because of the COVID-19 lockdowns. It's not because of Stockholm Syndrome. It's not because of whatever other reason people will use to make themselves feel better. Genshin Impact has been out for almost 6 years now, and is
God damn! 6 years? Fudge. You feel old yet?
against every single skirmish it's been thrusted into online. The only group at this point who can actually change the game are its most dedicated and deep-pocketed supporters of this game.
No, it's the AOE. They need mass quits. Like, the problem is they're not dropping the game. They're over here grandstanding, trying to act like, oh yeah, look at me, boys. I mass reported them. I made bots that attack their app. Hell yeah. Well, sure, whatever. But the reality is you're not quitting the game. That's what's gonna impact them the most, is mass quitting the game. Because these like apps and stuff, they can easily take care of that with bots and stuff, which they are doing. But if you quit the game, tough. And I heard, this is like a back in the day crazy game theory, they even bought the numbers for how when people log in and stuff. So that may be happening as well.
And might I say, they've developed quite the high tolerance level for nonsense. It's
But that is unconfirmed. Therefore, from what we know is 100% confirmed, the best way you can go about impacting them is through just simply quitting the game, which a lot of you guys are not willing to do because you're gonna miss out on those 60 primo gems.
It's in their hands to influence its direction, not mine and not yours. And consistently, they've chosen to value the content within the game over what the game is willing to bribe them in order to stick around. Even if I, question the value of that very content.
Exactly.
3. I'm a Zenless Zone Zero player, not a Genshin Impact player. As someone who plays what is objectively the least popular of Hoyoverse's 3 modern titles, I
True.
get to bask in the beauty of knowing my game has to do the most to keep its players satisfied out of the 3 games.
Fucking base. That's why I love to play the underdogs. Like I said before, what I want is, for example, like Wu West, what kind of ways shocked me. I want it to be popular enough, but not too much for where they can become like these two, where they don't have to try as much. But like when your game is the underdog, oh man, they have to try very hard and they have to do a lot towards their player base, to keep you. And that's why I love the underdog. NTE right now, I want it to be popular so that way the other gotchas like Wuwa can start changing their tactics. But as soon as that is done, I kind of want NTE to relax a little bit, just cool off a little bit. And the reason why is obviously because if they don't, they're going to start doing the very same shit they went out and fixed in the first place. So, yeah, something to make sure you always keep in mind, in my opinion, on how you should, let's just say, vouch for these games.
While at the same time can comfortably fall back on the success and profits of the former two in order to keep the game supported safely and comfortably.
Ooh, that is genius. Nicole, her name is Nicole. God damn, I'm pulling up. I might pull for this character.
Hoyoverse is not a game company anymore. It's an ecosystem, and their goal is to keep you in any one of their games that exist within that ecosystem. And
He's so right on this one. That's literally why they rebranded from MiHoYo to Hoyoverse. They're making like a video game in every single genre of video games, and they just want you to keep cycling in their stuff. So he's totally right.
based on the current climate of all three, ZZZ having the better response to player feedback and improvements in a relatively shorter time span has not created a conflict of favoritism within Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail's communities, despite what you would reasonably think.
Despite the lopsided treatment between Genshin/SSR/ZZZ, the favoritism hasn't resulted in a massive jealousy-fueled protest from Genshin players. Oh yeah, 100%. Like Genshin is really focusing on Hoyoverse specifically, based.
So long as the core Genshin player base takes no issue with the current state of their game, well, what reason do I have to stop them when I only stand to gain from its financial success? And this isn't even a matter of killing the golden goose, because you and I both know this goose ain't going down over what is just yet another mass online tantrum and opportunity for detractors to farm the situation. You might say I'm being opportunistic, that I'm taking advantage of Genshin and its community. That would be correct, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Based. 100%. Yep. Just like a lot of players take advantage of the free-to-play model. Like, you can keep trying to be predatory as much as possible. I do not care. I will never spend a dime. Yeah.
Everyone loves to throw around revenue every chance they get, yet no one ever stops to think where said revenue has gotten them. There was a time where pushing back against the design decisions of Genshin Impact was at its most impactful, and that was within the first 3 years of the game. That time, however, has long since passed, and so has the peace I've made with that fact. This newest boycott attempt will never achieve the same heights we saw in the first couple years, and is no longer backed by as large of a group anymore. Snezhnaya will easily be the most anticipated region yet to anyone with the most basic understanding of Genshin's world and its characters.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm intrigued in pulling back out. I just hope they give us a skip button, to be honest with you.
And yet everyone's blowing
Like, if they give a skip button, I'm so coming back to Snezhnaya.
their rage-induced load out on the back end of version 6. By the time everyone's had their fun and put their pitchforks down, version 7 will arrive, and everything that happened prior will wash away. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. So no, I will not be joining in on the performative outrage. I will simply kick back and enjoy the fruits of Genshin Impact's labor without ever having to play Genshin Impact.
So basically, he's pimping Genshin Impact. So yeah, I guess pimping the gacha game instead of getting pimped out by them is definitely smart. I think a free tentpole is a realistic expectations of things to come when it comes to the development of this situation. But besides that, I think in the overall consensus, the reality is that like the true improvement we really want out of Genshin Impact are simply not going to happen because they already know like one tentpole will just quiet down most of the criticism they have towards them, because the reality is, just like he said, there's this a lot of this is performative outrage for the sake of virtue signaling slash absorbing some of that nectar of validation online through upvotes, etc. And also, like, you kind of make a name out of for yourself in the community, which is smart. Like, I understand it. It's just that it's not necessarily helping your a bottom line, which is to fix Genshin Impact. It's just not happening, unfortunately, because the reality is a lot of y'all are not quitting. A lot of y'all are lying, and they know that the numbers don't lie. They see everything. I mean, Genshin Impact literally knows how many steps you take in the game. I want that to sink in for a bit. So yeah, of course they know everything about this whole performative shit, and they're gonna act accordingly. And I think the realistic thing is to give them a tempo, just to let them shut the fuck up. Especially if this lasts even longer, as Snezhnaya, a big patch is coming around the corner. So also something important, because right now I think they're in 6.6 if I'm not mistaken, and up until 6.8, and they have to maintain dry patches up until 6.8. So they don't have a lot of things to give players to, let's just say, make them forget before Snezhnaya rolls over, because 6.6 to 6.8 is typically the driest Genshin Impact gets. So I think a 10 pull, to me personally, is something realistic that I can see happen. But the sad reality is that is enough to break a lot of the push that players have towards, let's just say, wanting change, positive change in Genshin Impact. So yeah, unfortunately, we don't have Asia's support, so that's sad. But last I've seen, apparently one of Tectone's old edits is being shared in Bilibili. So who knows? Who knows? We might get support from there yet. So let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, subscribe if you have not already. Be seeing you.